Hi there, this is Western Dressage 101. This is your opportunity to find out all about Western Dressage, and we're here to help you learn more about it. Western Dressage of Association have a great mission statement, and it says, our mission is to build an equine community that combines Western traditions of the horse and rider with classical dressage. We honor the horse. We value the partnership between horse and rider, and we celebrate the legacy of the American West. It's about the journey. Our part of the thought about the theory of Western dressage is that we developed a training wheel, and it's called the Western Dressage Training Wheel. And you'll see the aspects of this here on the wheel: rhythm, suppleness, connection, impulsion, straightness, collection. And this is a diagram with the rider bringing together the spokes of the wheel, sort of like traditional dressage has the pyramid, the training pyramid. This diagram depicts the training basics that are needed to reach the ultimate goal of lightness and throughness with harmony, and serves as a guide to riders to evaluate and improve your Western dressage training. We're going to talk about that a little bit today. Some of the basics. The hub of the wheel is the ultimate goal, the center, and the spokes represent the basic elements of training and the connection to the hub. The rim holds all of the elements together and represents the rider, who is responsible for ensuring that all of the spokes of the wheel are developed equally. Depending upon your level of development, you may focus on different elements of the wheel. For example, at introductory and basic levels, you are primarily thinking about that you can keep forward, that you can stay in connection, that you maintain correct rhythm, that the horse is relaxed and supple, and that you can keep them straight enough to steer. At fourth and fifth level, all of the components are needed because you are required to produce collection, and all of those spokes are necessary in order to achieve collection. The rider must evaluate the training and determine which part of the wheel needs improvement, and that's to help keep the wheel balanced. One element should not be overlooked or favored over the other, and they are all equally important. Training basics. When you read the training wheel, you look at the spokes of the wheel, and the spokes of the wheel, the training basics, support and connect the rider with the hub of the wheel, lightness and throughness of the horse in harmony with the rider. All of the spokes are integral to the horse becoming balanced, both physically and mentally, and to enhance his usability and longevity. We're going to take a look at each of these training basics. We will move around the wheel clockwise, beginning at approximately 1 o'clock. You'll notice that there's no hierarchy in the importance of the spokes, as they are all important. The first spoke of rhythm, and rhythm addresses the purity of the gait. This means the regular sequence of footfalls in the walk, jog, and lope, that the walk is clear, that it's 4-beat, the jog is 2-beat, and that it has a moment of suspension, and that the lope is clearly 3 beats. In order to be regular with the footsteps, the horse's tempo, which are miles per hour, basically, must be consistent and appropriate for that horse to maintain balance and self-carriage required of the level in which he's being exhibited. Correct rhythm, tempo, and balance enhance a horse's gaits and increase the freedom and the elasticity of the horse, and therefore are considered to be a priority in your horse's training and development. Additionally, gaited horses must demonstrate a regular sequence of footfalls, either a 4-beat lateral gait or a diagonal gait, depending on the breed. When you are evaluating a gaited horse's saddle gait, consistency of the sequence of the footfalls must be considered. Remember that rhythm means do no harm. If a horse is losing its regularity, the walk is not clearly 4 beat, the jog is not clearly 2 beat, and it is not clearing the ground, or the lope is not clearly 3 beat, we have somehow had something going wrong, and we must reevaluate every aspect of our training, tack, horse management, because if we lose the rhythm of the horse, we have caused the animal harm. Our next basic is suppleness of the horse, which also on the spoke says in parentheses, relaxation. And this is the flexibility and elasticity of the horse. Suppleness is relevant to the horse's conformation and the way that the horse is put together, such as the bones, angle of the joints, etc. Over time, with correct training and conditioning, the muscles, ligaments, and tendons can be improved, as with any athlete. Conversely, incorrect training can injure the horse and negatively impact his future and his long-time longevity or usability. For example, sustained contractions of muscles is harmful. Relaxation allows the muscles to be free from contraction and is essential for the horse to develop flexibility, strength, and ease of movements. Elasticity is exhibited by the horse stretching and contracting his muscles smoothly, demonstrating a stretchiness or a springiness. Remember that relaxation also refers to a horse's mind, that the horse must be free from mental anxiety. Developing the horse's mind and body is a very important basic of your horse's training. So, as well as its own suppleness and flexibility, a horse must be relaxed enough emotionally to retain the training that you are working with the horse on. So, relaxation and suppleness are both on this part of the training wheel, on this spoke. Connection is the next spoke of the wheel, and connection is developing self-carriage through acceptance of the aids. And think about this, acceptance of the aids is all of the aids, your seat, your hand, your voice. And we were just talking about mental relaxation, and now we're thinking about, can the horse relate to you? Does he accept your aids? Is he relaxed enough with you? Is he confident with you as a trainer to accept all of your aids? Our wheel includes connection rather than contact, because our horses have the option of being trained bitless in a Bosal Hackamore bitless bridles. Therefore, the word contact with reference to a bit is not appropriate for our discipline. We do occasionally use the word contact when we are talking about the weight of the rein connection with the horse, but we are more likely to talk about connection when we are talking about how the horse comes into connection or on the bit or balance into the hand. We use the word connection. We want our horses to achieve self-carriage. We want them to be ridden from back to front while accepting the rider's driving aids into a soft, allowing feel of the hands. This harmonious partnership between the horse and rider demonstrates the quality of the connection. When a stretch circle in the jog or a free walk is demonstrated, the horse shows a desire to seek the feel of the rider, and we're looking for the horse to stretch his neck out and slightly downward, as well as keep up a lot of energy. As he moves up the levels and becomes stronger, more engaged, and better balanced, he also learns to lift his front end, i.e., the thoracic, and develop self-carriage while he actually stretches. And this is what creates the bascule of the back, which is one of the building blocks of where we're going. Impulsion is the next spoke of the wheel. Impulsion is the power of the horse pressing his foot against the ground and propelling itself forward. It is the actual power against the ground that propels. Impulsion being the next spoke of the wheel, the horse demonstrates a willingness to move forward with energy. The horse uses the power in his hindquarters to carry himself forward with spring. elasticity, and suppleness in his back. Impulsion also includes the air time or the period of suspension, which is shown in the jog or the lope. And as we mentioned before, if your jog is so inactive that the horse fails to clear the ground, they are no longer in clear rhythm and they do not exhibit impulsion, as impulsion will show some suspension in the jog and the lope. Since the walk is a 4-beat gait, there is no suspension in the walk because at any one time there's a foot on the ground. So we do not refer to impulsion when we're discussing the gait of walk. And saddle horses, because they do a variation of a 4-beat gait or a little bit of a 2-beat running walk, but primarily 4-beat gait, we refer to energy within the walk or gaited horse's saddle gait as energy. So when a judge would want to tell you that you need more impulsion, but you're in the walk, or you're on a saddle horse, saddle gait, they're going to tell you you need more energy. And that is the horse pushing against the ground and propelling themselves forward. Impulsion is a component of the development of the medium and extended paces of the gaits, and you do need impulsion in order to eventually develop collection. It's absolutely necessary. Straightness is the next spoke of the wheel, and it improves alignment with balance. Most horses, like us, tend to have a weak side. Our job as their trainer is to help them become more even in their capabilities, utilizing lots of gymnastic exercises that require using both hind legs more evenly, strengthening them for better longitudinal, back to front, and lateral, left and right, or left to right and right to left, balance to improve their own straightness. This is very important. This is a very important step in all phases of training, and it's critical when preparing for collected work. One thing about collection is that without every spoke doing its job, you will not be able to produce collection. That every spoke in the wheel has to be correctly addressed for the horse to develop collection. Collection, or lightness of the forehand, i.e. the thoracic, with engagement of the hindquarters, is the next spoke of the wheel. Collection is developed by the horse bending the joints of his hind legs to carry his weight increasingly on his hindquarters, while using his thoracic sling muscles to push himself up and back over his hindquarters, lightening his forehand, i.e. self-carriage. The steps in collection tend to be shorter and more powerful, with the rider's aids becoming lighter. And that is our goal, that as we train, that the aids become smaller, lighter, more subtle, and that the horse is increasingly confident and relaxed and in harmony with us. You want to remember to use the training wheel as your guide throughout your horse's training and when evaluating other horses' training. Well-trained horses are more likely to live longer, more useful lives while making happy, safe partners for the riders who love them. You know, the next time you step up to a show ring or somebody's riding lesson, if you think about the training wheel and begin to think, well, first thing, how's the rhythm looking? Then next, is the horse relaxed or supple enough to be usable? Is it relaxed enough so that it's not difficult for the rider to ride? And then connection. Okay, is the horse coming a little bit from back to front, a little bit towards the rider's hand? That means they're going to be able to begin to steer it more effectively? No, with the idea that as they come into contact, that they'll be able to keep going. Then think about, well, they need impulsion. Is the horse active enough to keep a steady connection? Do they need more impulsion? More impulsion is always, steady impulsion is always necessary to keep a steady connection. Then if all of that's happening, straightness, they'll be able to straighten the horse or bend it for more difficult exercises. So if you think about the training wheel, then you're going like, if all of those things are happening and those are easy for a horse to do, then all of a sudden you're looking at a horse that's ready to begin to exhibit collection, or it may already be exhibiting collection. And then you're already around to the front of the training wheel again. And every single time something goes wrong in your training, for example, wow, maybe you went out today and your horse was very inconsistent in the bridle. There was a lot of maybe head tossing, unsteadiness, leaning in the bridle. It was not easy or self carriage. You begin to think about the training wheel. Well, is everything okay? Is the horse sound? Is he okay with his rhythm? If that's a check mark, you go, well, was something scaring him? Was I at the creepy end of the ring? Is this a relaxation problem? Do I need to desensitize him because I was at the far end of the ring and that's the creepy end of the ring and I can't get him to pay attention, so I need to do some schooling with desensitizing down there. No, that was okay. That wasn't the problem. Well, then you're in connection. Were your arms too stiff? Were you looking down? Were you pulling on the bridle so that your connection wasn't elastic? Or did you not have enough impulsion to keep the horse going forward? So you see, you begin to think about the training wheel and you can make improvements in what you're thinking about how your training is going. All about Western Dressage, and this is a page right from the WDAA website, but they're asking you, are you interested in dressage? What exactly is it? They definitely are telling you you're in the right place. Go to the WDAA website, and there is a lot of information there, but they will provide you with all kinds of guidance and resources. If we aren't enough for you, there's lots there, including the WDAA Western Dressage test. So kudos to them. Great big website with lots of information. The next thing you're going to think about is setting up an arena. And this is a great page, which I'm not going to read the whole thing to you about the arenas, but when you get a chance to set up an arena, here's the explanation of the sizes, how to measure, how to get it correctly rectangular, clearly rectangular, and where the letters go, and a mnemonic to help you with what the letters are, to memorize the letters. One thing we do want to tell you is particularly if you decide to do some um, virtual lessons online, which are awesome, easy to do, very easy to do online lessons. And if you would like to do some online showing, it is really important that you have very big, clear markers and turn the markers towards the camera so that your riding instructor, your virtual riding instructor, or the judge turn them not for you to see, but turn them towards the camera so the judge sees them. They need to be really bright colors so they can see them and large. The other thing is very clearly delineate the corners of the riding rings, particularly on both ends, so that particularly when you're showing online, that they can clearly see where the corners are. So you definitely, if you only have intermittent poles down your long side, but be sure that every single corner has two poles that are clearly 90-degree corners. So because at every level, the judge is also looking at, did you go in the corner appropriate for intro, basic, whatever level you're at. So be sure that if you do get to doing this, that you get some nice big letters, turn them towards the end of the ring where the judge is, and also delineate your corners. So that'll help you a lot. And you can have a ring that's on grass. You can have it in your riding arena. So don't worry about that. We have a lot of people riding on grass. It's fine. Thank you so much. This is Ida Norris and my assistant Dana Roberts, and we appreciate you being here with us. And come back and see us again. And until I see you next time, hug your horse for me. Take care.